Through the quiet winding roads, evidence of their hard work is prevalent, from the raked blueberry fields to the beautifully crafted wreaths on each front door. But the voices of these migrant workers are lost in the silence, and this population remains forgotten in the daily lives of many throughout the state of Maine.
My sister and I came first, and then she called and that the work was fine here. They pay better than, because we were working in Florida, so they pay less over there.
We're from a small town named El Toronjo, which is a few hours from Mexico City.
Okay, I wake up like at 5:30 in the morning. I get ready, and then I pick up my kids to daycare, and then start here at 7 until 5. It depends how many boxes we have.
Like first, I worked with a man who did constructions, and then I went to blueberry, and then when I was 16, I worked in cucumber, and it was just because it was easier to do that because during school I went, and if there's no school in cucumber, I just go.
At Cherry Point Products, located on Maine's coast in Ellsworth, migrant workers are hired to process sea cucumbers. In order to process these marine animals, workers cut them in half, scrape out the meat from the skin, cook and package the meat, and then dehydrate and package the skin. Each worker makes $10 an hour, but if they process over 6 pounds of sea cucumber an hour, they're paid $1.75 per pound. Many workers use this incentive to their advantage, processing over 11 pounds per hour and making up to $150 each day.
If you're good, you get good money, but if you're bad like me, you just do fine.
The owner of Cherry Point Products is happy to treat these migrant workers well. He's just relieved to have found some help.
You wouldn't be working without them. Right. You'd be done.
Despite what many Maine citizens believe, Lawrence claims that migrant workers are only taking jobs that locals won't take.
I mean, it's something that I guess the locals didn't want to do, so. Yeah. And they've taken jobs from nobody, have they? No. I mean,
required every person to come to
they're just willing to work at whatever.
I mean, we ain't refused anybody for work.
You have to be pretty desperate to take these working conditions, and you have to have an economy where $10 and then you have to take everything else out is a lot of money. So you have to have really gone through something to get to the allagash. And then to say that this is a job that's being taken away from Mainers, no, those jobs are available because the people here turn their noses up at them.
This disparity of many migrant workers comes from poor living conditions in their home countries. Whether their government is unstable or they just can't make enough money to support their family, migrant workers come here for a reason.
You get more money.
More job, and they pay better here.
$1,000 here is $10,000 over there.
I had to ask them things like, what do you have on you? What you have to give up all of, and I hated that. You have to give up all of your possessions right now because they were being jailed. And this person had in his pocket something like $400.
Since the U.S. dollar has a higher value than currency in many other countries, many migrant workers send large amounts of money, called remittances, back to their home country where their family often resides. This is what Jose's father did for many years before deciding to move the entire family to Maine.
He did oranges, apple, big apples, cucumbers, tobacco, a bunch of things. He came blueberrying, and he first went to the Augusta area, but then somehow went into Wyman's blueberry and down east, and then he found other Hispanic people already lived there. He wanted to see how cucumber was, and he liked it, and he liked the area, so that's where he decided to move us up here.
A lot of workers will want to stay in Maine year-round, and you'll see this down east where they may work in blueberries, then maybe find some odd jobs for a while to tide them over until a wreathing starts, and then do that. They might travel even back to Mexico for Christmas, or they'll stay and then work in, and then fish processing. And then that generally will let up around like May or so, and they'll use that time to travel.
With more and more migrant workers residing in Maine, some locals are uneasy.
There's mixed feelings, a lot of mixed feelings.
Much of this frustration from established Maine citizens root in the inability of some migrant workers to speak fluent English.
Why don't they learn English? Well, some do. Why don't some of the people I know around, even on campus, who have not learned English very well, why don't they? I don't know.
I mean, like if they was going to Mexico, they'd say they was coming.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm trying to say right there.
I mean, if they was going to leave to go to Mexico tonight, they'd come up and say, we're coming to Mexico tomorrow.
They go to work with people who were Spanish speakers. They lived 14 in a house, and all Spanish speakers. And then, when they had time off on the weekend, maybe time off, they might work on the weekend if they needed to make up hours lost because of bad weather. There was a foreman who had a van and would take them all and go to Super Walmart in Brewer. And so they're in the van and they're speaking Spanish, and they go there and then they go home. They have all the reason in the world not to learn English.
Jose has overcome language barriers as well as many other obstacles as a migrant, and is now a student at the University of Maine on his way to a successful future.
Maybe by now I wouldn't be in school, I would be more like working full time. I just had my birthday and I just turned 18. So now I'm gonna maybe for Christmas put an application to become a U.S. citizen.
Jose's story is truly inspirational. It's a classic American dream come true as he continues to climb up the socioeconomic ladder. But for many migrant workers and their families, life remains a struggle for the bare essentials as they travel from place to place in search for a job.